I'm here. I was here. And I'm still here. I'm sorry I ran the countdown twice. I'm trying to let the Zodmeister get into the chat here, get into the stream, but for some reason it's just not happening. I originally made a stream with Restream and it wasn't showing up on my YouTube. So like none of you knew this event was happening until like 2 minutes before. So I got another one created and I got in and then Zod can't get in. So it's a continual problem that we have going on here. And trying to figure that I'm trying to figure that out. But welcome to Steps Gaming. Welcome to Friday. I'm here no matter what. Hopefully Zod can come in. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Restream is broken. Can everybody hear me? Is everything good? Hold on. It looks like Zod Rider may have joined. He may have joined. Let me see. Let me see what I could do here. Zod Rider's joined. Cool. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Can anybody hear me?
What's the problem with Restream? This is weird.
It was jacked up. Now look at my background. It's this ugly like blue thing. What the heck?
Yeah, this is so strange.
There we go. There's that.
I never seen anything like
there's
it.
That.
And then when you posted, the link in here, I clicked on the link. It has something to do with the way you were posting the link in the chat on Facebook, because you posted the link. You posted the link in here, and I had no problem.
Yeah, so there's a problem. Two problems I got going on. The Restream problem, and then Facebook said that all of my chats are needing to be re-downloaded into the PC version of Messenger, which is stupid. And so now they're all locked up. They said, we can't get your encrypted chat loaded. And I'm like, well, this is terrible. So I actually was emailing myself and then copying the link on my phone and sending it to you in Messenger on my phone. So because my Facebook was broken.
Oh, well, that's probably why it wasn't working, because all it was doing was it kept sending me directly to the homepage for Restream. It wasn't giving me your link. So
then I gave it to you what it was. You could type it. You typed it in, and it still did the same thing. But whatever reason, it worked when I put it in the YouTube chat, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh well, we are here. And
I guess you get what you pay for, as they say.
I'm supposed to pay $45 a month.
No, but
no thanks. I got 99 problems. I'm coming through clearly. Thank you, Biggie D. Thank you, Papa Brad. Good to see you.
Everybody's coming through.
Good to
see what's
up,
Papa
Ricardo.
Brad? Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
It was like Restream didn't want you to stream today or something. I was like,
I was on the tech support for Restream Biggie D since you said that, and the lady's like, well, if it doesn't work, create the stream in YouTube and then tie in Restream from that end. And I'm like, that sounds like a gigantic pain in the ass that I shouldn't have to deal with. And since it didn't work close to the stream time, I'm just like, forget it. And I deleted it and created another stream. And then that showed up in YouTube just fine. So I don't know what the deal was today. It was weird. You just got a notification for what? That Restream has a deal? Or that my stream was up. I put it up at the last minute because the problems with Restream. It was going to be up a couple hours before. But it is what it is. I kind of wanted to do a couple things today. I wanted to talk about what I have going on and what my plans are with the channel, things like that. And I also want to address a home arcade company for hopefully the last time, because those aren't goals of mine anymore. But like, I really felt like I owed it to talk about it briefly here before we start talking about the wonderful magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly, which I just absolutely love, and we'll get into that. I don't need
Well,
to go.
I think you and I were both subscribers to that magazine back in the day because I was getting it in the mail. So
Yeah. All my arcades are gone. I sold them all. I got a bookshelf behind me now.
except your iArcade, right? You still kept
no,
that.
it's all gone.
What?
No, it's hidden in the back. I did to the iArcade. You know what I did to the
I could see
iArcade?
you getting rid of everything else but the iArcade. I was like, why would you get rid of the iArcade?
I thought I would treat it like Michael B does. I go, oh, this ain't popular anymore. We're gonna move it out of my background. Anyway, so yeah, last week's show that kind of went out. That went a bit off the rails, for sure. I kind of wanted to do a show a little bit different about collecting. It didn't. I obviously didn't go too hot. We had a lot of different things going on in the chat. Zod Rider was bored. I don't know. So hopefully today goes better. But I have always loved both arcade games and console games. And I primarily love old games, but I like new games too. And I'm realizing more and more, I'm like, damn, new games are pretty damn good. And, so I really want to have my channel be more of, a retro with a little bit of modern with the Switch 2 and stuff, and cover things that I enjoy. And so I love covering arcade games. Like we can talk about old arcade games, till the sun comes up in the morning. But like, I just don't care to talk about fake particle board replicas anymore. And that's where I'm at with it. I don't know what else to say. I could keep telling you what my opinions are again, but I don't see what the point is. So I'm trying to do something from more of a warm, fuzzy feeling and nostalgia. Come and talk, enjoy that.
Like your Sega Genesis video.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out my Sega Genesis video, it's not. I mean, it's got a little bit of views, not many, but it was more of a chill. I thought I'd talk about the Sega Genesis and the EGM, and then I really want to talk about the EGM today because the Kickstarter's ending tonight.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal. So yeah, that is kind of what I've been trying to do here, but YouTube doesn't know what to do with my channel really. It's weird because I looked at where it's sending it, and it's sending it to like 5 different places. One of them being retro, and then another one it was like Jaws. I'm like, retro movies. I'm like, well, you're sending it to people that watch movies about Jaws, videos about Jaws. But a couple weeks ago it was videos about Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm like, okay, this is an improvement. Now I just gotta stay consistent in what I create, and hopefully I'll get in the right buckets. But I don't want to abandon my people in my arcade or in my arcade community, because I have a lot of friends here. At Brooklyn, it's okay. You said you were getting dinner or whatever. It's cool. Actually, I was only talking to you about coming on because I want to talk about Gradius and some other things, some shmups. But like, I ended up
that next week.
I was just so tired this week that I was like, I just want to relax. And I was like, let's talk about gaming magazines and everything, I gotta get my algorithm back on track. I do. And I hope to do that. And I try to consult my my friend ChatGPT sometimes and be like, they're not watching my videos. What do you think? And then it'll tell me, and then I'll have to decide.
ChatGPT will give you bad advice. Be careful about trusting ChatGPT. It'll give you bad advice.
It's like, you should make a video about Mike Ditka Power Football. Lots of people would watch that now. Anyway. Oh man. So the reason, okay, so I wanted to talk about iconic arcade briefly. Because
Mike Ditka Power Football. I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
Well, I was thinking that was like one of the worst football games I ever played.
Well, okay. Well, like in comparison to like Joe Montana Sports Talk.
Yeah, or Madden 92.
Like 92.
Madden 92 was like the game I had, man. I love I have a copy of Madden 92 on the way right now to my house.
I had Madden as a kid on the first Madden as a kid on the Commodore 64, and I used to
Yeah.
play it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Madden 92, the original NHL hockey, NHLPA 93, Bulls versus Lakers. All those EA Sports games were like legendary for me, especially the early 91s. But anyway, back to Iconic Arcade that has nothing to do with Bulls versus Lakers or any of that. I told people, I said, listen, they're not responding. They're ignoring you. They're not giving you any information, and it's not good. And I don't regret telling people, hey, get a refund, because they're not really giving you any information. Right? Now, if it was a Kickstarter and it was taking forever, that makes sense because it's a Kickstarter. You know what I mean? You got to be patient with
And
Kickstarters.
even on Kickstarters, when you reach out, if you actually reach out to companies, when you do a Kickstarter, most of the time they will get back to you and they will let you know. I've had stuff like that I've backed, and I'm like, when the hell am I going to get this? And I'll send them a message, and I'll be ready to be combative, and they will respond. They'll respond to you, and they'll say, we're working on it. It's taken such and such, and so with Kickstarter, if they're serious, most of the time,
they do. They do
they will
type
get
on
back
it.
to you.
You're right.
Don't have a problem.
And there was really no communication at all. And I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt when he came back, because I really didn't feel he did the community very good the first time. And I thought, okay, he's got Street Fighter, he doesn't have Arcade 1-Up. Let's give him a chance here. And then he disappeared and seemingly was following the same practices as before, which I did not like. I don't regret saying any of that. Okay. But they now have they showed pictures of the UI, which they're just pictures. Why aren't we seeing video of the UI? I don't know. And
what does that mean? I didn't see the pictures. What does that even mean?
There's actual pictures of the UI, and
does it look nice, or does it just look like
it looks like Netflix? It's got pictures of the game titles.
So it's like any basic Raspberry Pi image where you can have the box art, or pictures of the. Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like they're gonna make October still, even though they said they were gonna come back in October. So they're gonna delay it again, I would bet. But I get the impression it might be soon. I don't know, but I just wanted to say I hope for everybody who's bought it, and for the community, and for everyone that's thinking about buying it, that they do follow through with this, make it happen, and do a good job, and the online gameplay is good, and everything is like the best we've ever seen from anything like that. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, because I'm not, I'm in a part where I'm trying to go a different direction, and I don't. It's not my like I love Street Fighter. It's the only thing that might perk my interest if it was really, really good. But right now, it'd have to be really, really damn good.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for someone like you to take the plunge for that, it would have to be damn near arcade perfection online. Like it would have to play better than Fightcade, and it would have to essentially be like,
I'd have to make my friends in the Street Fighter community happy. I'm not the best player in the world, but I could tell the difference when I play it.
No, yeah, I know. As a Street Fighter fan, that's what you would.
Yeah. And the people, I'm in the Street Fighter Arcade 1-Up and Fightcade Facebook group, and I've had them on the show before. Everybody knows I know all them.
Yep.
And I've had tournaments and whatnot, and I care what they think. That matters to me. And I made that since day one. I've made that my whole spiel on the whole topic.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what it kind of convinced you to maybe go in that direction, because your friends in that community were very, very enthusiastic about it. Like they had high hopes, to say the least.
Yeah. Biggie D, I know you could message pictures of the UI. It's fine. We don't need, most people have seen them. I'm not trying to be an arcade show. I just wanted to mention it real quick. I wish them the best. I hope that it turns out better than it's looked so far. And that's really all I got to say. you know, if it's good, that's a key word, Biggie D. If it's good. If it's another arcade one up, which it looks like it probably is, then it's not. So show us something the arcade one up didn't do. You know how they say Sega does what Nintendo don't? That needs to be the slogan for Iconic Arcade. We do what Arcade One Up don't. You know what I mean? That's it.
That would work.
That's really, I really just felt like I should say that before I just said fuck it, I'm done. Totally. So there you go. There's my last words. Other than if it's good, I'll come back and say it was good. Other than that, whatever. You know what I mean? No hard feelings. It's just I want to see a good product. That's why I'm so harsh. All right. So now that we got all that out of the way, because I thought that was really important to all talk about today and address Electronic Gaming Monthly, man. I was reading Electronic Gaming Monthly at the age of like 8-9 years old. I think I think when it came out around then. I joined within the first 30 issues. I was reading Electronic Gaming Monthly, and I pretty sure I found it at a grocery store. And I was like, oh, a video game magazine, and took it home and read it. And after buying it 2 or 3 times, I subscribed somehow. I was like, Mom, Dad, I need this magazine every month. Will you pay?
It's legitimately the great. It was legitimately the greatest video game magazine of all time.
Yeah, I agree because like a lot of like when I started reading that, like nobody really like else in my school really read Electronic Game Monthly, and you'd find out what they read, and it was always like Nintendo Power if they had a video game magazine because they had a Nintendo. Nintendo did a very good job of putting all those inserts in the cartridges, in the box. You open it up and you're like, it's subscription to Nintendo Power. You get a discount a whole year for $20 or whatever it was. And I'm not saying Nintendo Power was a bad magazine. Nintendo Power is a great magazine, but Nintendo Power was never really about the future. It was about the present. It would say, hey, these are the games Nintendo wants to shill you. And Nintendo Power was the Nintendo shill, basically. You know what I mean? And EGM, they shilled whatever would pay them money. They were the shill. It wasn't RGT 85 or Mad Little Pixel or Happy Console Gamer or any of those people that are pretty popular in retro gaming. It was EGM. You buy that magazine and they would shill you, but they wouldn't it's interesting because they wouldn't shill you by actually like talking about the product. They would actually review the product. There'd be ads in it. Maybe the ads would shill to you a bit because you'd look at it. You'd look at those ads, like especially those big TurboGrafx ads. You remember those with the bonk?
Oh yeah.
And like they were some of the best ads, but like when you looked at all the games in the reviews, you'd always be like, I don't know. I think the Sega Genesis over here is a little bit better. And then you go with the Sega Genesis. But like I always look forward to see the TurboGrafx ads, even though I never, my friend had one. I never had one, and now I absolutely love the machine. But the Bonk's Adventure ad where it had the big ass bonk, and then it would have like a Turbo Express.
And the way they kept saying head in the commercial, talking about his big head, like they always would emphasize the fact that he has a big ginormous head. It's hilarious.
I still have one EGM sealed with a demo disc inside. That's great, man. I don't know if I have any more of them. I honestly I think they probably all went in the recycle or something a long time ago, unfortunately. But I'm like, so this compendium, I'm really looking forward to this. I did back it. Okay. I've never backed a Kickstarter. 100%. Never put any money down on a Kickstarter. And we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. I didn't really know about the EGM compendium till a couple weeks ago when I saw it in my Facebook feed. And I was like, oh, I got to do this. If I had known sooner, my name would be in the damn book, but it's not going to be, unfortunately, which sucks. But at least I'm still getting the book. I I threw down $70 for total. I did $60 for the hardcover book, and then $10 so that I could digitally access all the old issues. That's what I did. I thought for me that was the best deal. There's a $90 bundle, but even when I did the $90 bundle, I read somebody say that the digital magazines are still an extra add-on because you only get digital access, but you don't get access to all the magazines. I'm like, I just want to make sure I got access to all the magazines. I don't want to ask a million questions. So I paid the $10 for the magazines and I got the book. And that's what I did. Because those are what was really important to me. I wanted all of that. Now, you could get a physical issue of the last EGM that they never publicized, which would be really cool. But, like, it's a $30 price difference, right? So, but I bet you that issue will go for a lot of money if you try to sell just that issue later. I will say that for sure. I've always been a console gamer and an arcade gamer. I'm not saying don't play arcades. I'm not saying I'm not going to play arcades. I like arcades. I just would rather have
not particle board arcade.
I would rather have a more authentic experience. Right? Like I just bought a CRT last week. And now you're
gonna put the CRT in your iArcade.
No. 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 The iArcade's fun. It's great. My mom's fiance was playing it last weekend. Like all he did was play Miss Pac-Man. It's like, you got 1,000 games. Where's Miss Pac-Man? 2 hours later, Pac-Man. You know.
But see, that exactly answers the reason why there's been so many Arcade 1-Up Pac-Man releases. Because everybody wants to play Pac-Man. Everybody knows Pac-Man, right? Like even you, right? Look at that. That's the game. That's the game that's being asked for.
I don't. Yeah, I don't mind playing Pac-Man a little bit, but it's not my favorite game. You know, I like. As far as arcade games goes, like my number one arcade of all time, if I really, really think about it, might have to be the first Ninja Turtles arcade game because that was the first one that I was like, holy shit, holy shit, the Ninja Turtles. My picture's actually going to be in the compendium. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, man. I wish I would have gotten.
Wow.
I wish I would have gotten on this sooner. See, Saying Spirits was on it. You know what I mean? So
that's great.
Yeah. Man, that magazine meant a lot to me, man. I would take that to school. I would go, I'm in trouble. I can't.
I remember trading them. I
read the magazine.
I remember trading issues with friends and stuff. I remember it being I remember that magazine being a big deal, and it was always so thick and heavy, and yeah.
Oh, the covers, most of them are really good. There was a couple that was like, it's just like my thumbnails. Most of them are good. Occasionally, you could tell. Like today, I threw it up really quick. I was really
tired. the Eternal Champions cover. Remember the Eternal Champions cover? The fold out Eternal Champions. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I remember that Street Fighter 2 World Warrior cover from the original arcade game. This is before Super Nintendo, and that magazine was hyping up Street Fighter 2. I never even knew there was a Street Fighter 1, which I got into in my Street Fighter the video I made the day that I found out Street Fighter sucks, and it was about Street Fighter 1. It wasn't about Street Fighter 2. But anyway, they were hyping that up, and they had that beautiful orange like spine, and it had Ken on Blanca stage on the front, and it was hyping up Street Fighter 2. And then they hyped up that arcade game so much I wanted to play it. So we went on vacation to Tennessee. I'm telling my parents, we gotta go to the arcade. We gotta go to the arcade. And then I'm like, where's Street Fighter 2? Where's Street Fighter 2? I had to play Street Fighter 2. And it was all because of Electronic Gaming Monthly. Electronic Gaming Monthly was my shill, for sure. Oh, man, the chat keeps moving. And I've got to get used to Restream. CRT.
Yeah, Restream is definitely different. That's for sure.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like the end of my childhood, really. That was what, late 80s. So yeah. When they came out, I probably would have been 8 years old, so I mean it makes sense. That was like my last real like toy, series that I like was into. And the thing I loved about the Ninja Turtles is the cartoon was funny as hell. And it was entertaining, and I really love comedies. It's like my favorite genre of movies.
What
And
about Bob?
well, you already know about What About Bob is one of my favorite movies. So is Captain Ron. but yeah, the Turtles are great. The original version of the Turtles. I don't, I sat and watched the newer one that came out a year or two ago. It wasn't bad, but like it's not the same.
Yeah, but the last Ronin is coming out, and it's going to be a direct sequel to that original Ninja Turtles continuity from the 90s.
Game Pros were free at Toys R Us.
I mean,
Game Pro wasn't a bad magazine. I enjoyed Game Pro.
compared to EGN, Game Pro wasn't anything.
It was.
Honestly.
I agree. I mean, I would get a Game Pro and I'd be like, "Well, this is kind of neat. I'll look at it for a little bit." But it never hit. It never hit like EGM. I will admit that. But I'm not gonna call Game Pro a bad magazine. Game Pro had a pretty cool
if you
logo.
want to read all the old EGMs, all you got to do is go to the Internet Archive. They got them on there.
Yeah, you can.
All of them.
But I was like, for $10, I get the official searchable. I was like, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Sounds good to me. So that's why I did it. My pick and profile will be under Sushi X. Sushi X was like hardcore. And I remember like when they did the review of East for the Turbo Graphics, and it was like everyone's like Ted. It was a Sushi X. One of them was like 9. You know, and you were like, what?
Well, they kind of didn't they do that? They did that with Rondo of Blood too, didn't they? Where it was almost unanimous, like perfect scores for Castlevania Rondo of Blood for TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
Where they just like, I mean, they would gush over these games that you were, the international titles.
Get a real one, Biggie D. Do not buy an arcade.
One day.
Buy a real Mortal Kombat one, or buy one that's the right shape. And
buy one that's custom. Yeah, get a custom one made that is gonna fit your needs.
Rexer bought a like a midway cab that was turned into a Darkstalkers, and then he turned the Darkstalkers into MK2. And then my friend has the Darkstalkers marquee. War 444 has the Darkstalkers marquee that came off that cab, which is one of his favorite arcade games. So you could turn something into a Mortal Kombat one for sure. Hell, you know what? You would be better off putting the Switch in your arcade and running the Mortal Kombat collection than using running one of those damn PCBs.
Or you could do a mini PC and run it off of a mini PC and stick the mini PC in the arcade and have the mini PC boot right into the Mortal Kombat arcade collection.
Oh, Sushi Z X was my master. Okay, I thought when I saw it, I immediately thought, I didn't even read the Z at the end. I was like, oh, Sushi X, because he's so iconic. If you read EGM, you know Sushi
right?
X.
You know who he is, yeah.
Yeah, and you always would be like, I wonder what Sushi X did today. Where's that review? And then they would like the good reviews would usually be towards the front, and then the bad reviews were towards the back. So when you flip through the pages as you got deeper into the magazine, you would get all the threes.
All the dog crap. Yeah, you'd get all the dog crap games, and it would be like, wow.
Yeah,
and then the horror would be when you would actually get one of those dog crap games, and then you'd see the review in the back of the magazine, and it would just be like, oh, Destination Earthstar for Nintendo.
I still have all my Sega newsletter magazines for the math. Yeah, and all that stuff's worth a fortune now. Yeah, What About Bob is top 10 for sure. Yeah, is my memory correct there? Because I just remember instead of ordering them in alphabetical order or by console, it seemed like they ordered them from like, these are the good reviews, and then as you get deeper into the magazine, they're gonna turn into dog shit.
Right, because then you'd have to get to the charts where they would have the rankings, like the sales rankings for all the games too, and you'd have know how they would do that steps, remember, and then they would break it down by system, and you would have the top 10 Super Nintendo games of the week of whatever in July, and then they'd have the Genesis and all the other systems, and they would, yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you did get the Kickstarter, man. This is why I added this to my edited video yesterday, and then I was like, let's talk about this today because this is a great topic. Let me see if I can pull up the link and I can just put it in the chat. Yeah, $60 will get you the hardcover books. Yeah, $10 and you can get the digital archive. So pretty good deal. If you want to spend $90, you can spend $90. You'll get a slipcover for the book and a couple other perks. So there you go. I am so looking forward to it. And they said it's going to ship like at the end of September. That's what the latest update in the chat in their little group says. So that's why they can't add any more people to the book. That's unfortunate, but at the same point, hey, you got to come out at some point. Apparently the Kickstarter has been going on over a year. And, I'm glad they advertised on Facebook, let me tell you, because otherwise I probably would have never known for sure, I might know now because now retro content's getting into my feed more because that's what I've been watching. Zod, you're a big DC fan.
A big DC fan. Well, I used to be.
Until the Superman movie, huh?
Well, I mean, before that, but I've definitely kind of lost my enthusiasm for DC.
Man, so like now when you you wake up in the morning, you check the internet. Was there any gaming announcement? Was there a Nintendo Direct? Whatever. Back then, you'd have to wait a whole month. And then you wait the whole month and you get in your mailbox and you'd open it and you go, there's my EGM. And you're like, holy crap, Ninja Turtles is coming to Sega Genesis. Oh my God. That's how you'd find out. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the magazine was brilliant. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. I wish it was still going today. I really do.
I wish it was too. I mean, if they had just they have all these retro magazines that have an audience. If they just made the magazine, even if it was just like a retro release, I don't know. They could even add stuff that they used to have in it. I don't know. There's got to be something they could do to make it work and be commercially viable. But see, at the same point, though, they've already done it. So maybe they would have to find some other niche. If you cover new games, it's kind of hard because everybody does it online. You cover old games and the old people are going to be cool with it, but then they've already reviewed all them games. So what do you do? Maybe if they could release something once a quarter that talked about modern retro or something like that. I don't know. There got to be some idea they can come up with. But this compendium's sure a big deal. Maybe that'll help them want to do some more stuff. That would be great.
Yeah.
Did you back it yet?
The Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hardcover.
The hardcover, yeah. That's what I got too. And I was gonna go all in, but I was like, I still got. There's another Kickstarter.
See, the problem is I'm already backing, the Time Crisis light gun. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I gotta kind of like scale it
Yeah.
back on all these Kickstarters. I'm like,
That, that's where I'm at too, because Limited Run is a Kickstarter too. You pay for the
yeah,
game, and they're like, "This game will come to you in May 2026." I'm like, "It's like almost a year." So
yeah. You're basically just putting your money down, and then you're forgetting about it. And then when it arrives, it's like getting a surprise in the mail.
yeah. Well, we're near the end of the EGM one, so you're gonna get that EGM fairly quick, I think.
Yeah. Well, the EGM thing I wasn't worried about. I knew that was going to be huge. So, and they'll probably end up being some retailers that might get that one, because they might end up. I mean, I don't know. EGM was pretty big, so I don't know. I'm actually surprised they didn't get like a major publisher behind them to put that thing out and have it on Amazon and everything.
Yeah. Hey, they're gonna do really well as it
Oh yeah.
is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I yeah, it's the first Kickstarter I ever did. Now that one got my heartstrings. Like, oh, EGM. That was like I said. I was so hyped looking at that magazine every single month when it came in the mail. The Sonic the Hedgehog. I knew about Sonic the Hedgehog before Sonic the Hedgehog came out, and I was so hyped because I had a Sega Genesis. You know, um, obviously Street Fighter 2, any of those Ninja Turtle games like that. It just great. And then you'd read reviews of games you couldn't afford. You know what I mean? That was always a sad part. But like I could go back to Ease for TurboGrafx 16 when they gave that thing like perfect reviews. And then you're like, oh, that looks good. How much would it cost me to get this Turbo CD? And then you look in the other part of the magazine or something, and you're like, $400. And you're like,
It's like good luck.
And I'm like 9 years old. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen.
I mean, all this to play Keith Courage too. Okay.
I didn't even know. Like at that age, I wouldn't really know much about money, but I knew that I knew $400 was like $400. I don't think that I can even ask for that for Christmas, because that's 1989 money. That's not now money. Now
Adjusted for inflation, it's like $4,000.
Did you look it up?
No,
No.
I'm just joking.
I would assume it would be like I
don't know
more
how
like
much.
800.
I don't know how much it is. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna guess 800. Oh man, you got the Mega Drive magazine too. Yeah. The black gun is only available in Japan. Well, that's because US don't allow that. I don't think black guns, because they look too real. You could paint your gun black.
Yeah, you could just spray paint it when you get it, And
A lot more work. Just rock it. What is it, blue?
yeah, it's just the blue Time Crisis. I don't mind it being blue, to be honest with you. I'm perfectly fine. I mean, that's how the Time Crisis. I think. Well, no, when I had it for PlayStation, it was gray. It was the gun was the gray. It was that grayish color. But I think the blue. It was blue in the arcade, wasn't it?
Blue and red.
Yeah. So I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Was the Eternal Champions your favorite issue, or what was your favorite issue?
It was one of my favorite issues. Yeah, I distinctly remember that. I have a lot of memories for some reason attached to that Eternal Champions issue. I can't tell you why. I guess there was just a lot going on in my life at that time. But that I just remember that issue being like a pillar of goodness in my life at that time. But the fold out cover, and there were a lot of great covers. There were a lot of great Street Fighter covers. There was a lot of great Nintendo covers. They really went all out with those covers, Steps.
Yeah, they did. Sometimes they were like the Super Nintendo one. For the Street Fighter, that cover was kind of It wasn't as good as the Genesis one or the arcade one. The arcade one was the best one of all.
They were celebrating when it hit Genesis. I mean, it's like they were,
They were Genesis shills, though. I mean, I
They
really
were,
felt
they
the
were, and then they were, and that's one of the things that always killed me because I had a Super Nintendo, and I was, but they were totally. It was just, it wasn't even close.
Well, that's because they needed to cater to that market and pick up the Genesis people because the Super Nintendo, they had Nintendo Power. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
No,
I would.
I don't either. I don't either.
They're like,
And
let's
I
go.
and I like that they gave and I like that they gave so much love to TurboGrafx as well.
But that's why I ended up with the magazine. To be honest with you, because I had a, I was reading the magazine. I decided I wanted a Genesis. I had a Genesis, and now I'm like, well, I guess I'm an EGM person, not a Nintendo Power person. And that's how that turned out for me. You know? But I almost sometimes I wish I would have looked at more Nintendo Powers because a lot of people are very fond memories of Nintendo Powers, and they're really cool to look through. I bought a few for
Yeah,
my
yeah,
kid.
and it's nice to go. It's nice to go and flip through those every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo ain't gonna honor those like EGM can honor EGM though. That's what's sad. Nintendo.
Nintendo could make a ton of money if they released a Nintendo Power compendium. Could you imagine? Like how much, like the same kind of thing that what we just got with EGM, but an official Nintendo release, that thing would sell like it'd be a license to print money.
Yeah. I think Nintendo can make a lot of money that they're not willing to. They're like, we don't want to do a retro console. They didn't even do the Nintendo 64 Mini. Not that I'd want one now at this point. Now that I realize that the real thing, nothing beats the real thing. But it was money. It was definitely money for them that they turned down. And Sega made the Mini, but I think what Sega needs to do now is do what Atari does and make another Genesis that has HDMI and takes real cartridges. But the kicker is it doesn't do emulation like the Atari does. It actually plays the damn cartridges. And then they
Well,
could
it would just be, yeah, that would just be a straight up re-release of the console then.
Yeah, but it has HDMI and they could sell carts. They would make money. People would buy this shit and they would buy the carts just like they're buying the Atari carts, and they could even do very little. They could re-release Shinobi. They could come out with a bunch of shmups like
Well,
they're already doing
look at
anyway.
the way, yeah, and look at the way, like I love that the whole aftermarket for Sega Genesis games is just insane with all these great home brews and new and modern retro titles. I mean, Sega would stand to benefit 1000% by re-releasing Genesis. I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe they'll do it for like the 40 or 50th anniversary of Sega Genesis. Maybe they'll do like a limited re-release with HDMI of the actual console. I don't know.
Yeah,
That'd be a great thing for them to do, though. Honestly, I'm with you 100%. Why let companies like Analog and all these goofy companies overinflate the price and let them have all the fun with these consoles when Sega can do it themselves.
do you know that they own the rights? They bought the rights to Aleste or Amusha for the Sega Genesis, and that's like one of the best like shmups they ever did. And it's like they own the rights to that game, so I don't think anybody
Who?
could. Sega, they bought it.
I thought they owned it anyway.
It was originally it was who owned that? It was Compile made the game.
Oh,
It was
wow.
Seismic released it. That was the brand that released it. Seismic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they own the rights to it. So, like, nobody could really like re-release that card officially. You can get a repro, I'm sure, but you know, nobody could release it officially unless Sega says okay.
There's actually been some pretty kick-ass looking repros of Musha
There
over
has.
over the years. I have to say, I've seen some that look so good it's ridiculous. I'm like, man, imagine having that on the shelf. But it's like, no, that's a little bit much. They want a lot of money, but they look nice. They really do.
And some of those shmups, because they didn't sell as well as other games, now if you try to buy them, it's like you look on eBay and it's like how much for Truxton? And it's like $100, no manual. And you're like, $100, no manual. You know, they go for a decent amount of money. And it's an expensive habit for sure. For sure. You backed the EGM compendium? Oh no, he backed he backed the guns. Okay.
Everybody, yeah, that time crisis was like a no-brainer. I mean, especially with what, with what when Arcade One Up was charging all that money for Time Crisis. Give me a break.
Yeah, what how much is the Kickstarter for that?
$99 if you just want the guns and Time Crisis.
And then it's more if you want the other games.
It's more, yeah, if you want the additional games and additional pedals and all that stuff.
If you haven't seen Brooklyn Menace's video on the game product and the actual gameplay and the people that work for them, you need to go watch Brooklyn Menace's channel and watch that video because it's interesting. I like them because they're like, these games have never before been released outside of in the US, and they're like, it was released on the Arcade One Up. He's like, that doesn't count.
Nobody respects Arcade One Up because it's so niche and it's so trash that it's like we don't speak about that around here. It's just like, no thanks.
Yeah, good to see you, Damien. Deal with it.
There he is.
Yeah, we was just talking about the Time Crisis guns by the game company and EGM and whatever else. My favorite issues of EGM probably is Street Fighter 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, like right when it came out, the original one.
Nice.
Hyperstone Heist. I remember that issue. The one issue I saw that I put on the thumbnail that I need to go back and find when I get the digital access is the Final Fantasy X. I absolutely love Final Fantasy X, and I probably wasn't reading the magazine at that point because I probably had moved on to the internet. But yeah, that was a.
So the internet killed EGM.
Yes. Yes, it did. 100%. I was reading IGN back then, probably, but now IGN sucks balls. It's awful. And you watch one of the reviews, and it's some like 20-year-old kid that's highly opinionated, and his opinion's wrong. I just, I don't know. They consider Arcade One Up an arcade. It's a toy. It's a toy. It's a toy. Okay. And they are consider themselves a console? Aren't they one of those like plug and play devices, really? If you really
it's a plug and play. Well, it's a plug and play console, so that's, it's all good.
Yeah. Oh man, we started late, so we're almost running out of time. You can't spell ignorant without IGN.
Nope. That's 100% correct.
It used to be good. I think it used to be good back in like the early 2000s, for sure. Oh, then that killed all the mags.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what though? If those EGM people really wanted to keep doing it, I mean, they could have done a little bit stronger with the internet, but that is what it is. I saw a video of them all at the Milwaukee convention. What is it, Midwest Gaming Classic, like 2 years ago? That would have been cool. That would have been cool to see that. Hopefully they go to some other convention soon. It'd be cool to see them. It's a tiny little console with the Time Crisis logo engraved in it. Oh man, you got any other thoughts about EGM before we end this thing for the week?
I don't know, man. All I can say is I just love that magazine, and I like I said, I wish it was still around today. I mean, you talk about nostalgia. I mean, it definitely is that, and I think, for my money, it was always the best video game magazine that there was. It beat out everything.
It still does. It still does.
I thought it was better than Nintendo Power, better than Game Pro, better than whatever, whatever came out. EGM just smoked them all the time. They were the best.
Yeah, and you want to read it. I want to read it end to end. I want the ads. I wanted all of it.
Yeah,
Oh, they did.
definitely.
And you could tell those gaming companies did a lot of time on those ads for that EGM because they knew that everybody was going to look at this magazine. So you'd get a damn good ad. None of this like bullshit ads you get, you know? Like sometimes they just force these videos on you and it's like some terrible mobile phone game. Nah, that nice print ad. I still think the TurboGrafx ones were best. I really gotta give it up to TurboGrafx on their ads. Sega had some killer ads too, though, for sure. Oh man, all the love to EGM. If you did not back the Kickstarter yet, this is your last chance. It ends today. You could get your EGM Compendium book. I just put it in the chat again. The link if you want to do it. I don't know these people from Adam. All I know is I love EGM and I really don't care. I'm not, they're not sponsoring me or any of that crap. I just love EGM. So I'm letting you guys know, here's your last chance to get this compendium. I think it'll look good on your shelf. And we'll be back next week with a new topic, I'm sure. And
All right.
it was a good one. Thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. See you next time. I gotta do the ending video.